Folks, we're back. I'm your host, BKP. Donald Trump's family made money, enjoyed the American dream, and hid that money as per their accountant's recommendation, and they got him. They got him. Business Insider, from the Business Insider, the New York Times destroyed Trump's origin story, and the White House didn't deny it, okay? Didn't deny it. The White House has responded to the bombshell New York Times report, bombshell, that used more than 100,000 pages of documents as well as interviewed to conclude that President Donald Trump's father, Fred, gave Trump hundreds of millions of dollars in today's money over the years. Now, if you'll notice, it's in today's money. Every article, the New York Times, it's in today's money. If you calculate that your dad gave you $10 million, but today it would be worth $150 million, it's in today's money over the years. Trump has portrayed himself as a self-made billionaire with a knack for real estate market who received only a small loan of $1 million from his father to start off. The Times story attacks the notion, and the White House's response makes little attempt to change it. Okay? Fred, let's see, interview concluded that President Donald Trump, Fred, had transferred hundreds of millions of dollars into Trump over the years and skirted tax payments. All right. New York Times, Trump engaged in suspect tax schemes as he reaped riches from his father. The president has long sold himself as a self-made billionaire, but Times investigation found that he received at least $413 million in today's dollars from his father's real estate empire, much of it through tax dodges in the 1990s. Now, the Trump family, all of the kids inherited a certain amount of money, so there is a combined total. So an inheritance. So I don't think this is going to stick with the American people, but they would like for you to believe he did not pay his taxes. They always love a good tax story, okay? Remember Mitt Romney, Harry Reid said, well, he didn't pay his taxes. I heard he didn't. And they said, well, what do you mean? Well, I heard he didn't. So ask Mitt Romney why he didn't pay his taxes. There was no proof whatsoever. They love a good rich guy didn't pay his tax story, especially right before. I mean, you may say, okay, the New York Times article is not just for Georgia. It's not. But the New York Times article covers so many areas they need covered right now. Stacey Abrams, just yesterday, okay? Just yesterday, I heard a lady say to me when discussing Stacey Abrams, this lady said she needs to pay her taxes. That's the candidate, Democrat candidate for governor in Georgia. She needs to pay her taxes. Okay? So that kind of story with Trump could come off the table. Okay? Maybe Abrams says, hey, look, I'm behind on paying my taxes, but at least I didn't, pull all these tax schemes like the President of the United States. Oh, yeah, this one, they waited on this one. Now, if you go to this, let me go through a couple of the pictures I put together this morning. Let's go to, they could not wait this morning. This is all the media. Let's go to, Josh, give me number 8. And there's number 8, and that is Fred Santa Claus, because in the article, it's 10 pages. I read 5 of them at 4 o'clock this morning. It's a long read. But Fred would give the kids Christmas bonuses of 10 checks for $10,000. So there's Fred Santa Claus Trump. Okay. Now, I just want to show you some of the ones. Let's go ahead. Let's go. Coming up at 3:39 a.m. this morning at Pacific time, MSNBC, go to number, oh, I just get it. Go to number 9. Number 9, Showtime. Showtime is going to be airing this blockbuster report. Showtime, the family business, Trump and taxes. You see, you didn't get to see Donald's taxes, and they won't stop. This is a Showtime blockbuster, the family business, Trump and taxes, coming out Sunday. Let's go to number 10, okay? This is one of Showtime's, one of the reporters here. The family business, Trump and taxes, MSNBC. While they think they are really breaking some big news this morning, this was on MSNBC at 3:20. Go to number 13, coming up. They didn't care that the President of the United States, they didn't care that the one guy here on the camera is the President of the United States, and he received a deadly chemical through the mail, ricin, very deadly. That was never mentioned. But these taxes, oh my God. Let's go to number 14. That's MSNBC there. Again, there's Fred and Donald. They kept playing it over and over. All right, let me see what else I have here. Trying to get to it. You could have done the many faces of Minka Brzezinski all morning long. Let's go to number 20. Right there, the New York Times, number 20. They had that on MSNBC at 4:02 this morning, okay, which is 6:02, all right? Oh, no, they didn't care about anything else. Trump engaged in suspect tax schemes. He engaged in them all the way from the time he was 3 years old. When he was 8, he was a millionaire. Trump engaged in suspect tax schemes as he reaped riches from his father. Okay, there's number 21. Okay, the many faces, number 21, please. The many faces of Minka Brzezinski. Trump engaged in suspect tax schemes. Oh, she was, there is at 3:01 a.m. Pacific time. This is top news, boy. Nothing else. Not top news that Christine Blasey Ford lied to Rachel Mitchell. Not top news that she perjured herself under oath. Nothing is under top news. Not top news that all the Avenatti stuff has been dismissed. Okay? Not top news that we have a new trade deal with Canada and Mexico. Not top news that somebody tried to assassinate the President of the United States. No, if you look at the timestamp, 3:01 a.m. Pacific time, meaning 6 a.m., first out of the box. Trump engaged, number 22, please. Number 22, okay? Trump engaged in suspect tax schemes to reap riches from his family, okay? And here is at 5 a.m. Central Time. Right off the bat, number 23. There's the picture there, number 20. Oh, MSNBC, Joe and Minka. Let's see what else I have before I follow through with that. Now, this is the same New York Times, number 28, that ran a story. This is the same New York Times that ran a story that Mr. Kavanaugh threw ice at a man in a bar that started a bar brawl, okay? This is the same exact New York Times. I want to get to two more things before we close today, right here. All right, let's go to number 42. CNN loved it. Bright and early, 5:03 a.m. Eastern Time. Yes, that means I was up at 5:03 a.m. this morning. 5:03 a.m. Eastern Time, right? Father's gift to Donald totaled $413 million. Whew. New York Times, Trump exposed findings. Trump's dad gave him $413 million over the years. Gifts started at the age of 3. Why, he got a damn pony. He was a millionaire by the time he was 8. Trump children hide parents' millions in sham corporations. Okay. President helped reduce parents' taxes by lowballing real estate. Oh my God, I can't believe. Now this was at 5:03 this morning, okay? Let's go to number 45. 5:03, right there, CNN. The Trump tax scams. New York Times, Trump helped parents evade taxes. Okay, and number 48. Number 48 this morning, 5:03 a.m. Top story, Trump took part in suspect schemes to evade tax bills. New York Times, Trump helped parents evade taxes. Dubious tax schemes included instances of outright fraud. All right, let's go to number 49. New York Times investigation took months. Times reviewed 100,000 pages of financial documents, including 200 Trump family tax returns. All right, so this is not hard to explain. This is not hard to explain, but it's not got a simple form of explanation. Because what they're attempting to do is they're attempting to manipulate the voter that's always had a 9-to-5 job and got a paycheck. Okay? They're trying to manipulate their thinking. That this is something that Trump did wrong. They broke the law and they should, go to prison immediately for it. Okay? First of all, the taxes have all been signed off on the IRS, the forms. They're way past any kind of prosecution, and actually there's nothing in here that you would prosecute. Now, not to go into too much depth, I'll work on this today so I can maybe come across with some clarity tomorrow. Yeah, that's me, right? But if you have wealth and you've made money, your accountant will do things, okay, to help you pay less taxes. I know what you're thinking out there, okay? So all I'm going to tell you now is there's not one of your hero basketball stars, not one of your hero football stars, not one of your hero baseball stars, all of your heroes that you exempt, okay? All of your heroes that you exempt, okay, from anything like this, the media gives them a pass. So I'm just going to use sports for example. You got a guy that he's making, he got a $60 million $60 million deal over 4 years, right? Now keep this in mind. Let's just go for basketball, all right? Because they play a lot of games, all right? And they're in different cities. Baseball, they're in a city for 3 nights. Do you realize these athletes have to pay taxes where they're playing? Okay? So if they receive, they don't like to go to some states, and I'm going somewhere with this. They don't like to go to some states and some cities because the rate of tax is so high on what they make. So they try to do everything in the world to avoid, okay, where they're playing, when they're playing, and how much they receive at those games. Oh, there's a lot of manipulation going on with their accountants when they're in certain cities because they have to report how much they made in that city that night. Exactly. There's also reasoning there why they won't, okay, why they will not play in certain states or take a contract based on the amount of taxes they have to pay. Now, let's just look at all the big athletes that made 60 million, 70 million, All right, now that are worth $500 million, some of them. Okay, let's find all their kids. And let's go through all their untouchable kids, all right, and find out how many of these kids that are 5 and 6 years old that already have 15 different properties in their name. You got a 6-year-old kid, got 15 properties in their name, got trust funds, have different corporations. Folks, this is absolutely nothing. I hate this comment, but I think Previs said it, Reince Previs said it, a nothing burger. This is absolutely a nothing burger in the world of wealthy people that try to keep from paying as much taxes as they can. That would be all of them, the Kennedys. It doesn't matter who. Whether you like it or not, and you're in a family and there's a lot of money, it's not unusual to get a big Christmas bonus. So your accountant will tell your dad, hey, look, you could give your kids so much a year. Just give it to them. So much a year without question. So instead of giving it to the IRS, give little Johnny $10,000 and put it away. But the government allows you to give every child so much money. This is a nothing burger. And it's not just a $10,000. It's nothing. It's not unusual for these rich people and all of your friends out there that you're giving a pass, your Hollywood friends, your wealthy friends across this country. It's not unusual for their accountant or their team of accountants to say, look, we're going to put these buildings over here in little Johnny's name, okay? You don't want to pay all that tax this year. I'm just saying, I mean, that's not the clearest explanation, but I am telling you, this is a nothing burger. This is searching. All this is trying to do is manipulate the mind. Because, see, I will tell you this. Now, I got to go on past 10 o'clock. But let me tell you this. They've yet to figure out how old Joe here in Ellijay, Georgia, would like this billionaire from Manhattan. They're trying to figure out. But they haven't caught on that we don't care if he's a billionaire from Manhattan. We don't care if he had a Trump airplane himself. We don't care if he had $7 billion, $6 billion, $5 billion. What we wanted was somebody to cut regulations, cut taxes, quit lying to the American people, drain the swamp, put conservative judges on the bench, strike new trade deals that benefit the American worker, which he has done. Stop the threat and work on stopping the threat with North Korea that has been failed by every president before him so that they don't nuke Hawaii and the West Coast or New York City. That's what we wanted. We don't care if Fred Trump gave him $1 million, $10 million, or $500 million. We don't care. We want conservatives on the Supreme Court. I'm your host, BKP. I got to go. Next up, Instant Replay with Dave Garner. Instant Replay with Dave Garner next up after these commercials. Don't go away.